to 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria.
Yes, 24 hours to go to the opening ceremony of the Nigerian Week 2025 right there in London. And interestingly, it's one event that has always left an impression on the minds and hearts of Nigerians in diaspora, and of course everyone that comes into that week, where we showcase the best of Nigerian talent, Nigerian cuisine, Nigerian arts and culture, you name it. We can't take it away from Nigeria, the most populous black nation in the world, the best country, the most developed country in terms of manpower. There's nowhere in the world you go, you don't get to see Nigerians. And that is the impression we're going to be recreating. We're going to be showcasing a lot for Nigerians. And of course, for our visitors, for Europeans who are going to be coming around to be part of that vision. This is starting tomorrow right in London. And tomorrow through Saturday, it's going to be like a fun fair, trade fair, I call it. It's an annual event. But today, yes, you're welcome to Arise and Shine. Arise and Shine, yes, Arise and Shine Nigeria. Yes, we're expecting Mary to join us from Abuja, and of course, Dr. Chris joining us from London this morning. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, everybody, wherever you're watching us from this morning. I have with me here in the studio my beautiful Evelyn Choma. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, we're looking at education. Is it a myth or a reality? Education. A lot of times we have been inundated with the slogan, education is a scam, by this generation of youths. And the behoves of me, I ponder and I wonder that where have we lost it in this country? Education is a transformational tool for rebuilding and recreating the mind. Yes, you can't do without education. That's what a lot of people. Education is both informal and formal. We need to understand what education is. Yes, it's not necessarily about going to school alone. You must be transformed when you are educated. It must have transformed your mind, must have transformed your thinking, must have transformed your trajectory. But then we grew up with the mindset that education is a priority. We enjoyed going to school. We enjoyed the learning curve, understanding. You ask questions on issues you don't understand. Most of our leaders, in fact, education was the foundation of founding fathers. I'm talking the founding fathers of Nigeria, the great country of Nigeria, was emphasizing on pre and post independence, that we must be educated. A lot of our leaders of the first generation, a lot of our leaders even today are products of government sponsorship to further their education, to make them better Nigerians, to come back home and impact. Yes, and all that has happened so much. Most of the first generation universities, the likes of University of Ife, University of Ibadan, University of Lagos, UNN, ABU Zaria, and University of Benin, you name it, University of Port Harcourt. These were citadels of learning that offered almost free meals, free tickets to the first generation students, as the case may be. But fast forward, inflation and bad governance has caused a lot of degeneration of our educational institutions and, of course, our educational sector. The quality and standard of education has dropped to the extent that we've emphasized on the need to curb the excessive brain drain of intellectuals out of this country where we are saying today. So much to talk about, so much to ponder. Evelyn, let's look at education. Is it a myth or a reality? Because a lot of people are saying education is especially the youths of today. Education is a scam. They don't want to go to school. Yes, that people, you see little boys making it, buying G wagons, buying big cars at 16 years, 17 years. The parents are clapping. And during our time, you can't even try that. Even as even as a graduate, you must tell your parents where have we lost it generally. Let's get started from
In Nigeria, we say people say education is scam because it saddens us to know that someone will go to school, spend 4 to 6 years in school, come out as a graduate, then at the end of the day, there's no job. The no job. And it gets really painful to know that you go to school and study something, a profession, and at the end of the day you come out and start doing any menial job at all. Go out there, you see most of our graduates are doing jobs that they didn't go to school to study. You see someone doing carpentering job, doing mechanic, something they didn't study in school. So it keeps me wondering the reason why I would want to go to school, learn, study hard, come out as a graduate, and at the end of the day, I don't get to use my certificates. I don't get to work with my certificates. So when they say education is scam, I see reasons why they say education is scam. Because of the effort we put in. And talking about education being a myth or a reality, I would say it's both. Being a myth is because of the illusion at which it comes, the way it exists, and the reality of it, the potential at which it's driven out. It tells us that education, though, is important because the knowledge at which it gives, it helps you to be able to should I say, to fit in wherever you go to.
Yeah.
It gives you the kind of aura that you can be able to stand out when you are in the midst of your
peers.
Yes, you can be able to stand out, to speak out. There's a certain knowledge that education
gives.
It is
transformational.
Yes, transformational. So I won't say education is totally a scam because that knowledge it gives you is something you can't just get from anywhere. You can compete in any part of the world you go to when you are educated. But not being educated, you can't really, your mentality at which the way you put in issues, when you trash issues, won't be, you can't compare to those who are educated if you don't go to school. Well, with the way we find ourselves going to school, coming out as graduates and not getting anything meaningful to do with our certificates is the reason why most people call education scam. Because you can't finish your school and then come out, you start working for somebody that didn't even go to school.
Quite interesting. But looking at, there was a point you raised that really was quite impressive. The government is not creating jobs. And I think I totally agree with you in that affirmative. Because when you look at it critically, look at Asaba, for example. Majority of the keke riders are educated first degree holders. You have master's degree holders, PhD holders riding keke because there are no jobs. And all the government is concerned about is politicians are more concerned about seeing that they build one higher institution in their area or they site one higher institution in their area. They are not talking of citing factory. We don't think of production. We don't think of productive ideas. We're not citing factory for employment and production. They just want to say, during my time, I brought so and so factory to Chioma village. And because you are from there. Now, what is the fundamental? Because it pains me that the government, both at the federal, state, and local level, are not looking at being productive. We have a wasted youth, a wasted generation of youth, rather. We have a wasted generation of youth who are educated and unemployable because the jobs are not there. We are building schools everywhere, opening polytechnics, monotechnics, universities without the requisite job availability. Meanwhile, these politicians, all their children are going to University of Manchester, University of Michigan, University of Middlesex, University of Sussex, University of Leeds. They're all in the UK. You see them graduating, they will go to abroad, snap pictures and show. If truly they believe in the educational system in Nigeria, why are their kids not schooling here? That's what it bothers me. because it's sickening enough that even most of these artisans are first degree holders. People that have shops in plazas everywhere in all over the state and all over the country, majority of them are graduates. So why do they go to school? It is not out of place when this youth start saying education is a scam. Leadership have failed the people. The people of this country, the youths, have been deceived a lot of times. They just create a wasted youthful generation to use to achieve their selfish political interest. And
even when they don't even have jobs for these youths to do, they are not even creating an enabling environment for us, because we're supposed to have investors coming in to invest in the country. And when they invest, it creates opportunity, job opportunity for us. But when you look at our security is bad. We don't even have electricity in the country.
Exactly. So how do you want them
So
to
how
work?
do those investors come into the country when the country is not even well, like it's not well designed? The system, everything is totally bad, like off. And when you decide to want to do your own business, it's not even encouraging to do your own business. People cannot even go to their own farm because of the bad insecurity in the country. People cannot go to their own farm. People cannot open their own business. The high cost of things. And you can't even go for loan. The interest rate is very high. So it's not even encouraging. Even the manual job people are doing, they are still facing challenges in Nigeria. It keeps me wondering, because I always wonder why people keep leaving the country. What is it? Is it that Nigeria is totally off? Is it that like Nigeria is totally bad, that something cannot be made?
Education, whether positively or negatively, as the case may be.
Me, I won't say social media has been
And you look,
a bad influence.
Yeah, before we come to parenting, let's talk about it.
Yeah, because who are those like on the social media? We the people, right? We the people. And with parents giving their children gadgets, gadgets supposed to be for learning, right? For learning, if you are in school, to be more educated, you get to do research, you do your assignments and all that. But there are also disadvantages with these gadgets that these parents give out to their children. And if you should check it, when you go on Google, you see they have a parental guardian. You can be able to block some certain things that your children would see or want to search or use during your phone. So the issue with using these gadgets is that with the way with what you said, you said something about children coming home with different cars and all that. The parents doesn't even care. They don't care because of the way the system is. So there are so many things we do with these gadgets, especially the Yahoo Plus.
Yes.
That our own parents, they know what these children have been doing with these gadgets. But with what it brings in return, the money it brings, they don't care.
Everything is
they
okay.
Feel you can, as far as the money is coming in, you can do whatever you want to do with it. We are in the age whereby the most important thing to us is money. We no longer think about our values. We no longer respect our cultural values. All we think about
It's
is
money,
money.
Quite unfortunate because I think objectively that's the failure of the society, and the failure has started from the leadership at all levels, going to parenting, going to the church, religious affiliations, and all that. Because I think I must be factual with you. I mean, Nigeria of the 60s and 70s is not Nigeria of now. And it's really getting things really well. I think we need to add Abuja. I can see Mary, please add Abuja.
Okay, we have Mary there.
Yes, please add that up in Abuja. Mary, good morning, Mary, the princess of Abuja. How are you this morning? I think
I am not fine.
Yeah?
I am not fine.
You are not. Mary,
At
you can't
all.
be. What is the problem? You are dressing like a lawyer this morning. You are not fine. I thought you said you were going to start.
My system here is not coming up. I can't come in as I don't know.
As you
I'm
used
just
to
trying
do.
to work on it. But
Okay,
if it
don't disturb
works,
it.
I'll come in through the studio. Yeah.
Yes, please just enjoy yourself today. You are looking good on your legal uniform. Thanks for standing in for Udwanga. Sorry, yes, Udwanga yesterday in court. You
Hey.
did a good. Not fear to be now. We're looking at education. Is it a scam? Is it a myth or a scam? Because a lot of this generation are beginning to see education more as a scam than as a as reality. Because education for me is transformational. Education, it's how you want to be impacted by education that you'll be impacted, or how you want to influence the impartation of the kind of education that you have received will determine the outcome of the life, the kind of life you want to live. And we've been discussing extensively on the impact of education in our lives and livelihood, and the transformational trajectory that our educational system has found itself from pre-independence to post-independence, the 70s, the post-war Civil War era, and of course to the 80s and 90s. We started losing it in the 90s, especially from the 2001 to date. Our educational system started dropping. I mean, the value system of as in society started dropping. The value system of education started dropping. The relevance of education. People stopped going to the libraries. Children stopped reading. Preparation, the proliferation of social media aided and abated the gradual decline of education in terms of content and capacity, and in terms of commitment on the part of the students. Over time, we found out that people are no more concerned about reading. The reading, I grew up reading textbooks. I hardly see, and we see people carrying textbooks on the road. We exchange textbook. Give me your Ababio. Ababio was for chemistry. I'll give you my physics, my Abbott. We had PNOKK. We had so many textbooks that we exchanged. We read books. We read novels. I mean, this generation, they don't do anything. Everything is TikTok, social media, and I think it's affecting education. And now when you look at it, because they have this influence of social media has aided their quick access to making the world smaller. The global world has come into the pockets of people. They cannot interface, do transaction, do good, the bad, and the ugly with the social media. Have relationships, do so many things, good and whatever. And of course, the relevance of education started to wane. And the government on its part didn't deem it fit to do what is right. The government was just concerned, not about proper governance, but about self-centered governance, in the sense that all the politicians were concerned about was seeing to it that at least they attracted a higher institution to their constituency and giving themselves self-glory and aggrandizement. Yes, they are this and that. Yes, they did this and did that. Not one has thought, okay, I attracted Peugeot from France to come to my community to build, or I attracted big conglomerates from China, from the UK, from Canada to come to my community. They are not concerned about jobs. They are not concerned about production. They are not concerned about productivity. All they are concerned about is, yes, they achieved, they brought school. Now you brought school. Most of these schools that are being created every day, I call them manufactured schools, are more or less like glorified secondary schools. They don't even meet the standards. And they have so much space, like Daddy Chris will say, so much space for greenery, for agricultural entrepreneurship. But nobody's looking at that. Nobody's concerned about transforming those lands into money. And we are here in this country. Look at Asaba, for example. Majority of the keke riders in this town, back riders, are graduates. Between 80 to 90% are graduates. Majority of the shop owners in Obogonogo market, in most of the plazas in Asaba, are graduates. Some are master's degree holders, some are PhD holders. There are no jobs for these people. And the government isn't concerned. They are more concerned about what would they be negatively remembered for. They want to rename the institutions after themselves or their wives or their proxies. It's strange, but they are killing education. All of them, their children are in the UK, Canada, Australia, America, schooling. They don't tell us until when they are graduating. You see on social media, his son is graduating. You see him with his son and his family snapping. Oh, and every year money is budgeted for the educational sector, but nothing is coming out of it. What a country. We are products of bad leadership, but transformational leaders are in the society, but they are limited by the negativity of a kind of democracy that is more of impose. Look at what is happening in Edo State. Look at the quality of leadership that has been given to Edo State. Look at the governor, look at the commissioner for information. I wept the Edo State. We are both Edo Delta, Bendel State, the epicenter of education. From Midwest to Bendel to Edo Delta, and look at the best they could give to Edo State because of bad ideology in democratic dispensation. It's worrisome.
The truth is, engineer, everything you've said is the truth. But I think that because of lack of education recently, in this present times, from the young people, I think it has aided corruption in the country, because you cannot compare a child that went to school, passed through all of this, then what the people are going to study a professional course to work in a firm. You won't have time to say you want to start frauding people, you want to start lying to people, you want to start making any money online illegally. But because of that saying that can never be justifiable, that education is a scam, it has cost a lot. You see people kill their conscience to do a lot of nonsense, all because they say education is a scam. If education is not important, why is it that every time when we elect a president, we are struggling to see how they can bring his WAEC results to be sure he went to school? If education is a scam, why is the whole saga with Edo State governor, why is it trending online that he failed and all of that? So the truth is, the Ogbogolo market you talked about, we have a lot of graduates there, but you cannot compare when a graduate is doing a business with when an illiterate, right, is doing a business. The difference is there, because one thing is, whether we like it or not, education expands one's knowledge. You've studied, so it means you now understand some realities of life. You now understand the models at which you can do some things. But if you didn't go to school, you'll be struggling to understand a lot of things. Simple conversation becomes a problem for you. One thing is, we fail to understand that you cannot learn everything from your parents. You cannot learn everything from home, even though that's the first means of our learning. You can't learn everything from home. When you go out, you learn socialization, you learn how to socialize, you learn morals as well. So the reason why it looks as if the whole fraud that is being practiced right now is a normal thing, these people don't even have time to go to school. They didn't spend time to go to school. The next thing is, you learn drugs, you learn how to smoke, you now learn how to fraud people, and it now looks as if it's not the normal thing. This menace has become a normal thing in our country, Nigeria. And do you know why it's getting worse? You are making it, you begin to recruit new people into that system, new children. I call them children because how many adults do you see doing this? A child of 15 years already owning a car, and the parents see nothing wrong about it, all because the person is not making money. You can't question where the money is coming from. It's a problem. Apart from we blaming our leaders, I think parents still need to do a lot. They still need to do a lot. Because you complain that your child is making money, is buying cars, or when they give you money, you accept. You're accepting the money, it means you're already into the system. That's it. If you're not accepting, it's a different thing. If I collect money from a 15-year-old child that is not working, you understand, that is supposed to even be in school. I don't know why we expect much from these kids, and I don't know who is pressuring them. I ask myself sometimes, who is pressuring you people into I want to make money? Who is pressuring you people? Do you know that during engineer, I'll tell you that during your time, I'll tell you for free that a child of even 16 years will not own a phone. A child of even 18
What
years
are
is
you?
struggling
What
to
are
own a phone. People that own
no? During my time,
that
at that
own
time,
mobile
we didn't
phone
have
then
phones.
at least should
You
be like
can't.
20 something years. Yeah, should be like 20
Ah,
something years. These days parents are celebrating buying a phone of iPhone for their children.
you
Yesterday,
can't
Tiwankawe
ask
posted where he bought an
Mary.
iPhone for his kid. For his kid.
Yes, 1 point something
For,
million.
for his kid. I'm
Not
not That's
just
not even up to 9 years or so. And you bought a phone for him, telling him not to go into social media. How can you control when the person will go into social media? So she wants to tell me that when that child, you understand, sneak and open social media on that phone, she will know. You get my point? We now celebrate buying phone for kids that are not even up to 10 years. And before you know, they learn how to use that for more than even you that is their parents. And today we
They
talk
know
about
more.
corruption. No, it's not
You
with
have
the
stated
parents.
the obvious. You have stated the obvious. Quite unfortunate because
Okay,
the
I
truth
think I
is,
think my normal system is up. Let me join from there. I think it has come up now. I'm
okay,
coming.
all right.
yes, quite unfortunate because when you look at,
It's sad because
sad.
even with this Yahoo,
uh,
you still need to be educated to be able to do it.
yes, you still need
Because
to be
most of these
educated.
people you're chatting, you need to chat them in English, and you need the knowledge. You need to be smart in talking to these people. So you still need. You see where education is important. You need these people. You need to be educated. You need schooling. And the way I see education now, I don't think people are even going to school anymore for the knowledge or the value it adds. I feel they just want to bag the
Yeah,
certificate,
yes, let it not lose so that
the degree, the title.
yes,
I
I'm
am now
a graduate,
doctor
whatever.
this, I
Yeah,
am this.
you
But
know,
when you test their knowledge, their ability, you see
you
that
see
it's
you see
totally
they're
zero.
empty. You see the emptiness in them. I'm so unfortunate. Now we look at when you look at what is going to happen. Look at the number at at a time. I begin to wonder. Majority of the hotels. Look at how the youths are sleeping in hotels. 15 years, 16 years. They are not sleeping. They are staying in hotels as a way of life. It was a bit. It was a taboo to see a 15-year-old boy or 20-year-old boy 30 years ago, 35 years ago, 40 years ago, sleeping in a hotel. Who are you? The hotelers will ask you where they will hold you to your house. Who are your father? Are your parents? Who is your mother? Who is your father? Where are you from? What brought you to come and sleep in the hotel? But these days, the politicians that even own these hotels, we see these people doing drugs in the hotel, sleeping. These are the people that say education is a scam. They stay there, they use their Wi-Fi to connect to their so-called people they do the Yahoo with, and they are the people that will tell you education is a scam because they are seeing the allure. They are committing fraud. They are relaxed in an atmosphere of ambience and tranquility with a girl by their side or girls' houses are sleeping it off, and we're getting it all wrong. It's a sickening situation. So unfortunate about what is happening in this
All
country.
wrong. But I don't think our parents are to be blamed actually.
Everybody's to be blamed. Parents,
I don't think they are to be
society,
blamed.
leaders. Parents are part of it. So if
No parents want to see their children ruined. No mother will want to see her daughter. She has
so you mean that their
for
parents,
9 months
going
to like to destroy her life. So I feel the parents they do their best. There are some children you can't tame, no matter what you do. Even if you are a pastor, you can't watch them 24 hours
because you failed from the foundation. Because if you start bringing them up, let's say bring up a child in the way he or she should grow, so that when they are old, they will not depart from it. How did you start bringing up this child?
Haven't you seen even a pastor's child that's
a pastor is only a title. A pastor is just a title. It's not, and it doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define your character. A pastor is like Mr. Pastor is like Mrs. Choma, Mrs. Mary. It's like Sister Mary. It's just a title. That's where I hold. That's why I hold it. So, but it's unfortunate. We should try to get it right.
Okay. So I feel we should go on a break.
Yes, let's take a short break. We're back shortly, and Mary and of course Evelyn will continue on education. Meet a reality.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. It's coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26th, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria.
Welcome back, viewers, from that quick break. We're still on the show Rise and Shine, Nigeria and ART. And today's topic is wonderful, honestly. Education meets a reality. Whether we like it or not, education is so important. In as much as they're trying to make it look like it's no longer needed in the society. I don't know how, if we say education is no longer needed, then what should we be doing? Even people that farm, the way we neglect people that farm, funny enough, if you go to school, if you study agriculture, it's definitely going to be a different thing, different input to put into whatever you're doing. Whether you're doing business, if you're into business, if you go to school, it's a different thing entirely. You can't tell me that whether we talk about lack of job opportunities in Nigeria, which we all know for true that there are no jobs, but there's a knowledge you get which can never be denied. There's a knowledge you get when you go to school. There's a knowledge that you get when you go to school. You might not really have money, but you can now teach people, you can now educate people. People will now appreciate you. There's this level of respect that you gain when you are educated. You know, like we that grew up in the north, there is this thing we see. It's like a normal thing. We call them the scavengers. They go to the waste bin, they pick things, and I don't know what they do with it. You cannot tell me it's not possible that someone that is educated, you see them doing that. Forget it. Even if we say that
Mary, they are there. Oh.
Like
they are
educated
there, they do it.
I'm talking about
yes.
They pick things from the waste bin.
They pick these metals.
And,
some of them pick
I think
metals.
Those waste bins, they now, yes. I don't know, but for me that grew up in the north, the people I see have come to see that do that. They're not educated people. There are different people. I wouldn't want to call a particular tribe or religion, but there are different people that I've seen countless times that do that. You see, the people that do that fixes a shoe, they call them the shoemaker. I've never seen an educated person that do that. I feel like there's this level of respect you get. Okay, what if opportunity comes? What if opportunity comes? You know, someone told me that even if I finish school right now and I'm not opportune to get a job, it will never be a waste, because one day opportunity might come. It might be 10 years after your schooling, it might be 15 years after your schooling. Just one opportunity that will come, boom, the whole story will change. But if tomorrow I say, Evelyn, bring your certificates, what did you study? And you can't even fit in. You can't even fit in. I am not telling you that people with good skill, people that are skillful is bad. It's not. Because even if tomorrow there's no certificate, I might say, okay, what's that skill you have that you can represent in a particular community? Community, I mean, in a particular company. A lot of companies is set up with people with different skills. It will definitely fit in, right? You fit in that. But you see, what I'm saying is the lack of morals that is now in the society is the one that I'm complaining about. Now people no longer see the value in school, and they are trying to confuse the innocent kids that need to understand that their future, you understand, is bright. They're not trying to confuse them that you just need to pick your mobile phone and fraud people. So tell me, how can this kind of thing be a normal thing in the country? How can it be a normal thing where you fraud? Because the thing is, there's this mindset that comes with frauding people. If I feel like I will press my phone from now to night and make millions of naira. Now, if I'm used to spending millions of naira, and tomorrow I won't forget to change my backdrop. If I'm used to
Mary,
spending.
Mary, did you know the most funny thing about this? You know that even with this fraud, you still need to be educated. That was what I was telling engineer. If you are not educated,
But
how do
most of
you
them are
communicate
not.
with these people? How
But
do you
most of them
communicate
are
with these
not.
people? They
That that
use
that, that
tech.
I
Some
don't know
of
how they
them
do
use
it.
some of them use interpreter. They will write it and it will interpret in English, in correct English for them. You still need to be educated to be able to do this fraud of a thing. You can't be dumb and go and try like scamming someone. How do you get to scam somebody when you are stupid, when you are foolish and you don't know anything?
You know,
Because
the
you
thing
need
is,
the knowledge. You need the
the
knowledge
thing
to be
is
able
that
to
I
do
don't
it.
know how they manufacture that English they speak when they want to fraud people. I don't know where they manufacture it from, but I know that feeling bad that this
You
person did
can do
not go to
everything
school.
with the system. You can do
Yes,
everything.
I
You
don't
can't
know
go
how
and
they,
scam somebody
I don't know how they
when you
manufacture
can't
it.
even spell your name. Because the person wants to know you. My name is this, my name is that. I'm from this, I'm from this. You need to be educated to be able to write well.
You're
And
right.
so many people are so many people are still having faith and still going to school, not because they trust the system. Many people still go to school because they feel maybe they will one day leave the country. And that is
So
very
see,
bad, like sad. It's sad for
age
you to
people
want to
that
go
are
to
going to
school
school, what do we
because
call it? Because I know that recently when people were called to bar, recently a lot of lawyers were called to bar, even at Buhari here in Abuja, it was everywhere. And you could see aged, like fathers, someone that can give birth to my age mates, you understand? Fathers, already elderly fathers, mothers that were called to bar. So they started studying law when they already had kids, when they already had families, when they already getting old. Are you going to say that they're wasting their time? Because I believe maybe then they were not opportune to. Later on, they could actually see that they can do it. Is there any knowledge that is a waste? We all know that no knowledge is a waste. I'm saying it for free that some people just went to school so that they can represent, they can speak well in the public. Some people just went to school so that you will see them and see their graduates. Not everybody when you see that are educated actually went to school because they want to work in a firm. That's the truth. Okay, what of someone that is already from a rich family, that already doing well, your parents already own a company for you, like you know that you don't need to come and struggle. So going to school, what do you think is the fate of that person? So that you can even represent even in that company tomorrow. Maybe if your parents are no more. So I don't know. Because if you go out in the street today, if you take your mic and camera and go out to the street and say you want to interview youths, I'll tell you for sure that if you have 20 youths, 15, they will tell you that there is no need of them going to school. Like just like them stressing their parents, paying school fees for them when their parents don't have. They justify that their parents don't have the school fees. They're even helping their parents understand. So now say they don't have that money to train them in school. A lot of people say they didn't go to school because they don't want to stress their parents. Okay, they didn't go to school because they need to. I've seen a lot of people that decide not to go to school because they want to train their younger one. Maybe understandable. But why do we have part time?
Many people
We have part time
already have
because
many people already have this misconception about school. They feel when you go to school, the main purpose of you going to school is to come out and make money. So many of them feel if I should go and waste years in school and the purpose is to come out and work and make money, I can actually work now, no need of going to school. I can do any job and start making money and be a boss of my own. So why should I go to school and waste 4 to 6 years and come out and start working for money again when I can actually work for money without going to school? So many people, they already have that misconception. They feel going to school is just to come out and start making money. So they can do it without even going to school. And there are so many people that are going to school not
depends on
because
your
of
own kind of
not because
person.
of knowledge. Not because of
When
knowledge. Many people are going to school just for the certificate.
I had friends in
Just for
UNN,
them
they,
to
they were in
yeah.
UNN, they were making money. These people I'm telling you about, they were in UNN, they were making money as students. I know it's a federal school. You know, I was opportunity to ask one of my friends then that how are you training yourself in school? He said after first year, after the first year, he has never asked a dime from his parents again. The printing they do, they just have to get a printer. They do printing jobs. You understand? They have which aids to do assignments for their fellow students. Like they just have a lot of things they do. So we're doing painting. I'm not saying that you cannot still make money when you go to school. Maybe not that kind of full time, the way you want to make money. But you know, you cannot want to achieve two things at once. You need to focus and be devoted on one thing. When you don't get what you want from that one thing, you do other things. There are people that are in school that make money. If you ask me, I would say maybe after secondary school, people should just use maybe 6 or 1 year to learn a skill, then enter school. That is why as a student, you can still see your fellow student that will make your hair and collect money. They make money from it. Do makeup and collect money. They make money from it. You get, but this mentality, maybe the essence of this show today, if you ask me, I'll say, is for us to still talk to people that we are not, and we cannot be confused or convinced that education is a scam. Because I don't know how you come up and tell me that education is a scam. You understand? It is
No,
never a
we are trying to get
to listen and
certain
understand.
things. Yeah, we are trying to get certain things straight. Like, see this scenario now, Mary. You go to school and maybe you study banking and finance, and then you graduate, no job, and you go and learn tailoring. Because you don't need to go to school and study tailoring and come out and be a tailor. You can do practical study and become a tailor. And then at the end of the day, is the tailoring that becomes your job. It becomes your life. So you feel, why did I even go to school and waste 4 years to study banking and financing? Why I'm doing tailoring now? Why didn't I just use that time I went to waste in school and study this tailoring and have it as my life now? Why did I go to school to waste those time? That is the reason why most people, they feel, no, education is scam. Because there are so many graduates that are working under people that didn't even go to school.
So that when you are being called to write a proposal for a business or MOU, they're calling people. No, you need to know what you will sign sometimes. Though. I don't.
I didn't know that we still have.
Not even
We still have
justifiable. Education
so many
is
graduates.
so important.
Mary,
Education
we
is so
still have so many
important.
graduates that cannot read and write well. So many people
So
go to
what are
school.
you? Okay, what are you implying? That people should not go to school? Are you trying to say people
No,
should not
I'm
go
not.
to school? Let me understand.
I'm not saying that, but if you are going to school, you should know the purpose at which you are going to school. There are so many people who are going to school not for the knowledge, just for the certificate and to show off, to come out and say, oh, in my family, I'm the graduate, or I am not this, I am not that. And they don't know anything.
Okay, but this tailor that actually went to school didn't get a job on time and started the tailoring job. Later on, be called up for a big job. What did they do? They had to put people there. You understand? She had like so many guys learning under her. So what she just does is go to the shop once in a while. They're already making clothes for people. So are you going to say our own education is still a waste? It is not a waste. I know what I'm saying. There are a lot of people that are doing well. Uneducated, they are doing well. But when you bring documents for them, you understand that we aid them in their business. They don't even know which one to sign and which one not to sign. You go and start looking for educated people that will help you. You are being asked to write a proposal. Yes, I own a shop, I own a business, but I can't write a proposal because I didn't go to school. It is never a waste. The way you feel you devoted your time to learn a skill, I think you should still devote that time to go to school so that you can stand out. The fashion, is it the fashion of today that we are talking about? Are we talking about the fashion of today that has gone global, that you now need to be educated to be a fashion designer? Are we okay? So someone like Vicky James, the way she brands her, the way she brand her own fashion, the way it is, will you compare it to someone that didn't even go to school at all, that just learned it? What about people that we have nurses today that didn't go to school, midwifing? Are you going to call them graduates, or are you going to say they're educated? But will you compare them with a nurse that went to school, that studied nursing, that can now work outside Nigeria, that can now work in the international level? There are levels to these things, whether we like it or not. If you're educated, there's a way you just do whatever you do it. You do it in a more beautiful way. You do it in a more advanced way. You do it in a more presentable way. Why are people going to school? They want to be presentable. They want to stand out. You will definitely be unique. You will definitely be different from any other person. I know what I'm saying. In our today's Nigeria, the educated people, I understand that, are not well respected, because this content creator Pella, I think he was looking for a camera person, and it was like strictly graduates that came for the interview. And to some extent, he was making mockery of them. It's funny. It's funny. I understand that we're in the social media age, where social media now give people money. People now make money from social media. But see, whether we like it or not, that graduate might not actually be rich now. But you cannot take away the knowledge that the person has. You cannot take away the knowledge that the person has. That is why today you have mothers that truly is not their fault. They actually didn't go to school. They can't even help their kids. Their kids that are enrolled in school, they can't help them in any way. Those children have to struggle on their own. Assignments, your mom cannot even help you, your dad cannot help you. As a kid, you have to struggle on your own to study and see how you can deliver on that assignment. I know what I'm saying. That guiding, that way in which you guide your child, you understand, as a student. If they say, "Mommy, okay, this is the kind of course I want to study in future. This is the kind of profession I want to go in future." Because they're educated, you watch them, their normal attitude as kids. Do you think they can fit into this? Is this what they want to do? You will not be able to guide them, because you were educated. Something I don't know, how can I talk to you about it? If I don't know something, how can I talk to you about it? I think these are things we need to consider, because not everybody that approach you today are illiterate. So there are places that as an illiterate you cannot stand out. There are places that as an illiterate you cannot fit in. You will just be able to communicate with your fellow illiterates. There are a lot that education will do for you. That when you are uneducated, it will deprive you. I'm not saying education is the only way that can make you successful. Funny enough, people that are educated are even the most unsuccessful right now in this present Nigeria. If you want to list the main unsuccessful people, they are the educated people. You see the uneducated ones, it looks as if they are, because all their life, all their time was devoted into that skill. But to me, instead of you to go into fraud because you keep singing that education is a scam, it's better you own a skill. When you have a skill for yourself, it's something that can carry you for long. Because you see this fraud I'm telling you, they get to a stage, if the money is no longer coming, they want to still do more fraud, they want to still do more illegal things. That is when even the act of stealing comes. Because I'm stealing millions of naira and I now go for a month without millions of naira, I can't stand it. They sell their car, they won't be able to afford lodging in their hotels as usual. But you know what? Do you know what it does to them? They want to do anything by all means to make money. They want to do anything by all means to make money. Fraud can never be justifiable. But you see, that word education is a scam is wrong. And I'm saying it to whoever is listening today. Education can never be a scam. Education betters the society. Because whether you like it or not, you now learn morals. You now learn how to do things rightly in the society. I wish in our political world today, Nigerian politics, they play that only the educated, you understand, but actually see themselves gaining the position of becoming a president or so. Let me tell you, the way they will run this country will be totally different. I know what I'm saying. Why we just pick anybody that just come up and say they went to school, they're educated, and they're there, they don't even know what to do in our different sectors. They don't know what to do. That's why you appoint. Yes, they don't even know what to do. They don't even know how to rule in Nigeria. In as much as they fight to become the president, they don't even know what to do there when they get there, and it's a problem. I think that's one of the issues we have right now in this country. That's what I have to say.
And let's even look at our educational system in the country. We don't even have conducive environments for people to even learn anymore. You go to some of these schools, the building, you look at the building, some of these schools, they don't even have desks. So you start wondering, what's the essence of even sending your children to this school where they're not even comfortable to learn? No desks, no board, teachers are underpaid. You see ASU strike, like it's so discouraging. Education in Nigeria is discouraging. That's why so many people, they feel education is scam. They still say that education is scam because at the end of the day, it looks as if it's only the rich that can get good education in Nigeria. Because you want to send your children to private schools, you can't even afford it as a common man. You can't afford it. It's expensive. And the one they came up with and say free education, you even, your children cannot even learn. They say free education, their textbooks. Which textbook are they using? Archaic. The curriculum is even old. Do you know there are some neighboring countries you send your children to, you know that they are far behind. They are far behind when they are with their parents. Just maybe send your child to Ghana, the same class with a Ghanaian child. You'll be wondering, what's going on? Like, what kind of curriculum are we using in Nigeria? It's old, archaic. So I feel the system is not even encouraging. Our system is not encouraging at all. Most of this, you see a young boy crying, a young girl crying. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to go to school because they know what they are facing when they go over there. Their hardship. Some of these teachers, they pour their frustration on these kids. When they are not well taken care of, when they are underpaid, they pour their frustration on these children. And these children don't feel like going there anymore. They don't feel like going to school. Because of the kind of treatment they get when they go to school. So the system is not even encouraging to these children to want to go and learn. What they are teaching them over there is not something you want to send your kids.
But the truth is, every joy of a parent is when you see your teenage child coming back and telling you A, B, C, D, things they learned from school. You know, the attitude of some teachers, the attitude of some stupid teachers when it comes to how they treat these children is another thing. It's another thing to discuss on its own. Because I could see one complaint from one woman for a 4-year child. First of all, the teacher asked them not to use the school toilet, according to her, maybe because they misuse it. So they will not use the school toilet. Then the child poo, right? I think on her clothes or so. If you see the kind of beating this teacher gives to the 4-year-old child. But the parents bring them to you people to take care of. And that is why they pay for their services. So why, if they can't use the school toilet for a child, what do you expect them to do? And why beat a 4-year-old child? What do they know? Because according to what the woman said, the child came back home and said the teacher told them not to use the school toilet again. So they are not allowed to use the school toilet again. But now I want to ask, what if these children are having runny stomach? Because they can't control it like adults. You know, they eat everything. They take every sugary thing at that their teenage age. So what if a child of that age, you understand, is having runny stomach? Because I know that every school has nanny. Growing up, the kind of school I went to, I know that it's not even only the kind of school I went to. Where I grew up, in almost all the school there, they had nanny. There's this thing called nanny that takes care of those, you understand, those kids, those kids that got those small children. So is it that they don't have nanny in that school? You're not telling a child that when they come to school, they should not use the school toilet, they should not go to toilet till they close from school, from morning till afternoon. How is it possible? And you want to beat them as if they stole. And that is why sometimes you beat your child in the morning, send them to school, they start crying. They don't want to go to school. In fact,
they don't want to go there.
Most of them are scared of going to school. Are we going to start talking about the fact that teachers not eat their food? After you eat the child food, you give them just small portion. What kind of thing is that? You understand? Those hungry teachers we have. I'm not saying all schools are like that, but maybe the kind of school that will offer this perfect service for your child, you might not be able to afford it. You take them to the ones you can afford, and the ones you can afford will not treat them well. This comes another problem. But even at that, are we going to say education is not good? It is. Education is good because it begins to shape the child from that young age. And we are not going to just concentrate on the negative things they experience. Yeah, they experience a lot of negative things, bully, maltreatment that they will not get when they're at home. But we need to just keep your child at home because they will not gain that peace that you expect them to get. They can't just sit at home. Their parents are supposed to even go out and do something. Their parents are supposed to go out and work. Will you take your child everywhere you go to? So that's the problem. I know that teachers are not helping out at all. Are we going to talk about kids that have lost their lives because they went to school? Are we going to start bringing their stories? You know of that woman that lost her only child. She could not even hold it. She could not even survive it. I think it was just a few months back that I saw that she also died because she couldn't even get justice for her child that died in school. Sometimes they bully them. They give them some substance that are not, especially body school, that are not good for them. They die in the process. All in the name of senior, the kind of children. Are we going to talk about what their fellow senior in school do to them? Not even talk about teachers. A lot of students have died.
Not the experience of boarding school, you will not even wish for your enemies to send their kids.
It's one thing I never tried.
With the school I went to, they had the secondary school I went to, they have their boarding session. If you see the people who cook for these children, you see old women that are more than 80 years old cooking. If you see them watching food, they will prepare beans. Watching God, Mary, if you know what these children are facing.
But yes, parents pay for this service.
Yes, they pay. But the parents don't go there to see these things. They don't go there to see these things. And most times when these children complain, they feel you are just being stubborn. Because you don't like school, you don't want to go to school. There was a time that children enjoy going to school because they will get to see their friends, learn, and they are happy. But with the way these teachers, some of them are not even qualified teachers. Some of them are people who just finish secondary school because there are no job or no money to further on to the university. They just go into teaching. They are not even qualified teachers because of the kind of frustration these people that call themselves teacher put on these kids. They don't even want to go there, to go to the school. And boarding school is worse. What these children learn from boarding school, I won't even encourage my close relative to send their children to boarding school.
A lot of them learn smoking from there. They learn smoking, drugs.
Yes.
They learn a lot of negative attitude from there. It's one thing I've never supported.
That's why you get this school mother thing.
I think it's better your child goes to school and come back. You see them that day and assess what you think they are learning. Are they changing negatively? Are they changing positively? You're able to take a look at them and see that, okay, my child is learning, you understand, something. My child is learning how to be a good child. Then if that child is changing, that child now begins to talk anyhow, begins to disobey you, now say, oh my God, this is what my child is turning into. Why?
Something is not right.
You know why you can easily see it? Because they come back every day. They come back every day, so you can see and know
parents, they are so busy.
You know that there are parents that the school that child attended for JSS1, it's not the one they attended for JSS2. It's not the one that attended for JSS3. It might not really be good, might not be healthy for the child because you don't change them. They cannot concentrate to know. But I feel like sometimes why they do it is the attitude my child is exhibiting from this school is not working. So I have to change until I begin to see that they are not perfect in character. But a child that spent the whole full term in a school, you call it boarding school, and maybe they just have visiting day, maybe once or twice before the semester ends, where they call visiting day, you can't get to know everything they do. I'm not saying all boarding school is bad, it depends. It depends on the kind of boarding school, but I know that they learned a lot of negative. I've seen girls that learned how to smoke because they went to boarding school. I've seen girls that learned lesbianism, guys that learned how to love their
school mother
because of boarding school. You understand? School mother, school father that does rubbish to you. What kind of nonsense is that? But if we want to dwell on that thing alone, we'll tell the children to stay at home. Staying at home, is it going to help them?
I mentioned to engineer earlier because he was saying the parents are to be blamed. Then I was saying you can't totally blame these
Totally
parents.
right. Yeah, that's true.
No, because you can't sit a child down and be watching him or her 24 hours. Like you are so jobless, you don't have anywhere to go, you don't have anything to do. Just be watching a child 24 hours just because you can't overly tame a child. There is no way
It's not
you can tame a child. Yes, haven't you seen pastors' children, people who impute moral values in their children, but at the end of the day, many of these children they go astray. So I can't say it's the parents' fault 100%. There are some children that no matter what, you can't tame them. No matter what you do, then 1 second you take your eyes off these children, they are lost. So I won't say you have to. The parents are to be blamed 100%. No.
That's the truth. Now, well, everything wants to blame the parents on everything. When we know that they even send their children to school to still learn, but do they learn? Do they learn? When teachers will not even help them to learn. So that's it.
Some of these,
Okay, I
some of
think
these schools they are not even helping, because you see during break time, most of these students they will leave school. Their school will not even notice. They won't notice that these children are not in school. So how would you blame a parent that is at home thinking their child is in school, not knowing during break time the child leaves school? How would you blame a parent and say that it's the parent's fault? That's the reason why I said you cannot 100% blame the parents for a child that is bad. You can't blame a parent for it. You can't tame a child.
Yeah.
Any child that wants to go astray, no matter what you do, you can't tame that child.
That's true. Some actually didn't go to school and they behave well. Some went to school, they became worst. It all depends. There is no special model for this. There is no special way, you understand? It's just sometimes we give birth to kids. We want the best for them, but they don't turn out to be the best for us. That's it. But at the end of the day, we just feel like, okay, we should continue to inculcate in them knowledge, wisdom. We should continue to do the best for them to be better. Even though I know that most of them don't turn out to be better. Yeah, there are kids that their parents took care of them from primary, secondary to the university level. They got to university and became something else. To the extent that most of them drop out. They sent you to university, but you didn't finish. Drop out maybe because of cultism and all of that. Are you going to still blame the parents? Now, I hear people say blame parents, blame parents. Are you going to blame a parent that is going to work, that hustle day and night to make sure you feed, to make sure you gain the best education? Are you going to still blame them for your stupidity? Are you going to still blame them for not seeing the need to learn? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. There are still kids in that same school that choose not to do anything illegal, that choose to understand that morals is very important. But a kid that chooses to be influenced by friends, I don't think you have to start blaming the parents for it. There are people that are just so easily influenced by friends, in the sense that they want to wear what their friends are wearing, they want to eat what their friends are eating, they want to go to where their friends are going to. And because they want to go to everywhere their friends are going to, anything they meet when they go there, they take it like that. And that's a problem. So that is why most times you don't see me come out to start blaming parents for the stupidity of their children. Because I don't think a child that is up to university level still needs their parents, understand, to advise them. By then, you should be able to differentiate between good and bad. You're able to know what is good for you and what is bad for you. Because, for example, you send your 16 years old child to university at first stage, she started going to club. That one is just she celebrating her freedom. She gained freedom and choose to use it wrongly. And there's still a kid of that same age that choose to go back home after lecture. After lecture, I know that the next thing for me is to go back and stay in my house. So it depends on the training you give to yourself. These things does not really boil down to the fact that we start blaming parents on everything. We can't start blaming parents on everything because they are not there. You know that there is no child that lives home that their parent don't advise. You advise them, if you go to school, do like this. Okay, why is it that there was just this mentality we had then growing up? That you see some students that when they're in high institution, they wear trousers because their parents that is today will not allow their children to wear trousers, put on trousers or revealing out. So they wear trousers, put on trousers in schools, and when they're going back home, they pick the biggest gowns. Then during the holiday, I noticed it, they pick the biggest clothes. And so are you going to blame the parents? It means this is what the parents want from them, but they choose not to live that kind of life when they go to school. You understand? So I don't really think we have to start blaming parents for everything. That's the truth. Some children choose the kind of life they want to live, and they choose to be influenced negatively by their friends. So it's really not the fault of the parents. I think we should just look
Yeah.
at one paper because almost all the headlines saying the same thing. The thing is APC, PDP, ADC, next meeting is one story that is not going to change anytime soon. It's going to be there till even after the 2027 election. It's going to be there because peradventure, maybe after the election, you might start hearing go to court. Is one thing that we know in Nigeria. Is the video of
People
Natasha.
start questioning the votes. That's
Yes,
what
it's not
they
going to
are
stop
best at.
anytime soon. Politicians and their ways, very unpredictable. Atiku coming out to say, speak to the Edo State governor that the threat to Peter Obi is a threat for all of them. You know, I don't know, but people are not so wise that they don't want to fall for these things. They don't want to fall for it. Because are you going to tell me that Atiku love Peter Obi? Are they not dragging for one position? You know,
Yeah.
whether we like it or not, anybody that you are dragging a position with, you understand, we never love you because you people are in a secret competition. Whether you show it or not, is there, and you cannot change it. So everything is just politicized. People having mixed feelings about it, saying that this one is a political talk. You understand, just to show that you love the guy. But you people are competing. There's competition. There's a competition there. In as much as a lot of people frown at it that is a governor of a state is not supposed to threaten another person not to come into his state, you could still see some people supporting him that he's right.
It doesn't
But
make
that's
any
Nigeria
sense.
for you. You said
I say it doesn't
that's
make
like
any sense. You know there is a grudge. He's holding a
have you not
grudge against
seen people justifying it that he's 100% right for what he said? Have you not seen people justifying it? A lot of people. You understand? When the minister also supported it that even when he was a governor in River State, when Peter Obi wanted to enter the state, he told him first. You understand? That you are not to go into a state without telling the governor of that state. I don't know, but why is it happening now? I don't know that that's how they do it. I don't know where it's done anyway. You get? And he came back, the governor of Edo State came back yesterday and said, in case we didn't understand what he said, that he still say it again because he didn't put water in his mouth when he was saying it. That they know that he hardly talk. And because he made one comment, everybody, you understand, has been disturbed and all of that. But at the end of the evening, whether we like it or not, these things are politicians. These people are politicians. They might not even be enemy as we think.
aside even politics. Aside politics, what happens to individual rights? What rights do you have to tell me not to enter into a state? I'm a Nigerian. I have the right. It's my country. So what right do you have? And you threatening whatever happens is up to me. Should I notify you before entering into any state? And this is someone that even gave a donation to a nursing school in your state. You should be grateful for. I feel he's just holding a grudge against him because Peter Obi questioned the election as at that time.
Yes.
That it was not credible. So he was still holding a grudge. That was the reason why he did all this. Because
it's always be there. But if Peter Obi enter APC and all the sins will be forgiven, they will not be friends. As I say, are you pretty sure they're enemy? Let's say Peter Obi enter APC, that they'll begin to work together. All this quarrel, all this enmity will stop. We need a twinkle of an eye. So that's it. So I think all the dailies are the same thing. I think we'll just end the show here. But coming back to the topic, education, I'll say it anyway, anywhere, anytime, any day. That is so important. In fact, the importance of education can never be overemphasized. It is so important because it will make you even to stand out in the global society. Gone are those days when they say women should stay back in the kitchen. No, it is no longer that era. Women now do a lot.
That's right.
We now represent in the global society. You understand? We now have a lot of them that we are so proud of. They are doing the kind of things they do. They say they are doing choke. So that we will not have a better Nigeria, a better country, a better family, a better way of doing things. Just as they say education is scam, where are we going now? Where is Nigeria going to? All those ones that didn't go to school, have they changed Nigeria? In fact, they cause us more problem. That is why the international countries are telling us not to come. The foreign countries, are telling us not to come. Because when Nigeria go there, what they do is fraud. In fact, they cause more problems to us. It was not even like this before. Now we are not there on the bad book of almost every country, tagging us bad, tagging us of fraud, tagging us of illegal things. Are we talking about those? We are even talking about social media. What about the drugs? Who push drug more? Which people push drug more? You understand? So it's a problem. It's a problem. The harm that uneducation has even done to us is higher than what education has done to us, whether we like it or not. That's the truth. I don't know if you have anything to say, Blaine, before we end the show.
Like you said, you're right about it. With education, there are places it give you the leverage to enter. There are things you can actually do and ways you can speak. There's a kind of aura which education gives. Yeah. So education is not a waste. The knowledge you get being educated is not a waste. Even if you're in a country where you get unemployed after you graduate, we should still have the hope that someday, with the certificates and with the knowledge we have, we'll be able to achieve something, if not in Nigeria, outside Nigeria. There is a lot that education can actually give to us, a lot to achieve with being educated and not being educated. So I would say and agree to it that education is not a scam, is indeed not a scam. So that is it for me.
That's true. Thank you so much, for your contribution on the show. And this will be a good place to wrap up the show on Rise and Shine Nigeria on ART. See you again tomorrow, same time. I remain your girl, Mary Lizzie. Bye.
Get ready, London. Nigeria Week 2025 kicks off July 24th at the Hippodrome Theatre. Celebrate the giants of Africa. As the DG of the National Orientation Agency hits us with what makes Nigeria the true giants of the continent. Day 1 starts with a star-studded opening ceremony as we groove to Scobie, Marvin, Boyson, and HB Zendo. Then, the UK Nigerian Creative Summit. Hear from Nollywood legend Zeb Ejiro, NBC DG on broadcast rules, and Film London on filming in London.